The Siege of Harfleur, a significant episode during the Hundred Years' War, came to an end in 1350 following a protracted conflict between England and France. Harfleur, a strategically vital port on the River Seine near the English Channel, became a focal point for both kingdoms as they sought to control access to Normandy and disrupt each other's maritime activities. The siege is notable for its political, military, and geographical importance, especially within the larger context of the war for dominance in France between the English crown, led by King Edward III, and the French monarchy. Strategic importance of Harfleur. During the Hundred Years' War, Harfleur's value was amplified by its location. As a prominent port city, it allowed the French to maintain naval superiority in the English Channel, threatening English shipping and providing a gateway to Normandy. For the English, control over Harfleur would disrupt France's defences and grant them a foothold from which they could launch further invasions into Normandy. The port also had the potential to serve as a base for Edward III's expanding territorial claims in France, following his earlier victories at the Battle of Crécy, 1346, and the successful Siege of Calais. The siege. By 1350, the English army, bolstered by their dominance at sea, had grown increasingly aggressive in their efforts to undermine French control of the region. The siege itself followed typical medieval tactics, involving encirclement, blockade, and the use of siege engines such as catapults and trebuchets to breach the formidable walls of the city. The Black Death was still ravaging Europe during this time, weakening the garrison and spreading amongst both the defenders and besiegers, further exacerbating the difficulties of the conflict. The English forces, relying on their famed longbowmen and superior siege technology, laid a tight siege around Harfleur, cutting off the city from external support and supplies. Despite determined resistance by the French garrison, which included local knights and a contingent of citizens conscripted to defend their city, Harfleur's isolated position meant that relief efforts were minimal. The conclusion of the siege. The siege ended in 1350 after several months of intense fighting and famine within the city walls. The defenders, weakened by disease, starvation, and a lack of reinforcements from the French crown, were ultimately forced to capitulate. King Philip VI of France, preoccupied with internal conflicts and the plague's devastating effects, was unable to muster a relief force substantial enough to break the English siege. With Harfleur's surrender, the English gained a valuable prize. The terms of surrender allowed for the city to be occupied by English forces, who fortified the position and used it as a strategic base for future operations in Normandy. Harfleur would continue to be a site of contention for the remainder of the Hundred Years' War, serving as both a symbol of English success and French resilience in the face of foreign occupation. Aftermath and legacy. The siege marked an important chapter in Edward III's war against France. Although overshadowed by more famous battles and sieges during the war, the fall of Harfleur weakened France's naval capabilities and contributed to the continuing dominance of the English on the battlefield. Harfleur would later be recaptured by the French, but its fall in 1350 underscored the shifting tides of power during the Hundred Years' War. Thanks for listening. Like and comment. And please subscribe, as that will help us get more videos out to those interested in the Middle Ages. See you next time on Medieval Chronicles 1066. Stay curious.